Hello viewers and welcome. In this tutorial we will take a tour of Visual Studio IDE. By the end of this tutorial, you should have general understanding of how to use Visual Studio to develop a Windows Form application. In this tutorial you will learn how to open a Windows Form application, how to organize your files on file system, how to customize Visual Studio IDE, and you will develop your skills that you need for designing a Windows Form application. Let's begin the tutorial. Visual Studio is an IDE. Here I want you to notice acronym IDE. IDE is a very commonly used acronym in programming. It stands for Integrated Development Environment. An integrated development environment provides comprehensive tool to programmers to develop softwares. Integrated development environment consists of at least three things. A source code editor. A source code editor is a text editor where you write your code. Second component is a debugger. A debugger is a program that allows the user to identify incorrect code and find out how a program flows. There are also other features available in debugger such as running a program step by step, stopping the program to see its current state, tracking the variable values, etc. The third component is build automation tools. Build automation tools manage and organize program builds. A build tool transforms source code into binaries. It usually organizes source code, manage dependencies, perform linking, etc. Visual Studio has all these components. Moreover, Visual Studio comes with .NET Framework. That means you don't need to install the framework separately. Now let's just start the program and begin tour to Visual Studio IDE. As you start Visual Studio, you first interact with this window. Here you have 4 different options to choose. You can sync your program to your repository like GitHub. You can reopen a project or solution. You can open a folder. And last one is create a new project. We will select the last one. Create a new project. In Visual Studio you need to create a new project every time you write a program. Now click on Create a New Project option. You are now diverted to a new window. Here you can see all the available apps and templates. We will work with Windows Form application, so you need to scroll the list. Find and select the Windows Form application. Alternatively, you can search for Windows Form application. Here I want you to carefully choose your Windows Form application. You can notice here 2 different applications. One is for .NET Framework and the other one is for .NET Core. .NET Core is not the same as .NET Framework, so choose Windows Form application for .NET Framework and click Next. This one is the last dialog box you need to interact with. Let's first focus on the first field and the third one. That is project name and solution name. A project in Visual Studio cannot stand alone. It always placed in a solution. A solution is basically a container or a box that can hold one or more projects. Kindly read the message on the screen. Now let's see how we can name project and solution. If you are planning to work with one project per solution, then you can give a single name to both your project and solution, for example. As you have noticed, project name becomes automatic solution name. But if you are planning to place several projects in a single solution, then you can have different name to your solution. For example, Here you see the solution name is Capital 5 and the project name is Task 1. And it seems like I am planning to place all the tasks of Capital 5 into the same solution. I can better organize my work if I do like that. Now the most important thing while naming the project is, you will not write a full stop, comma and space in project name. You will learn later that the project name basically becomes the namespace. You can even have problem with loading any assembly if you are using invalid characters in project name. I will leave a link in the description where you can check all the characters which are not allowed in project name. Now check the last option here, that is location. Location is basically a path to your computer file system. This project has a default path. Visual Studio saves all the projects inside the repos directory, which is basically inside the user directory. But we will not save our work into the default location. We will save the work to our own defined location in Computer C drive. Let's open the C drive and create a new directory. You can name your working directory whatever you like. I am naming it C# Journey. Now go back to Visual Studio and click Browse button. Here you see a Save File dialog box. Now browse to the directory we just created in C drive. Open your directory and then click Select Directory. Here you see the default location is changed to our own defined location. Later on I will show how to bind this location to the program so that you don't need to browse every time you open new project. Now click on Create button. In seconds you will see your Windows Form project. Project is ready. We will first study the project directory. It is important to have an idea what do we have inside the project directory. I am inside the C# Journey directory. And I can see my solution directory here, which is previously named Capital 5. Let's go inside the directory. And here I can see my solution file, which has extension SLN. You can find as well your project directory, which is Task 1. Go inside the project directory and check the files. These are the files Visual Studio created for the project. You have Form Designer, Program.cs file and a project file that has extension CSPROJ. This is an acronym. And that means C# project. Now if you want to open your project from the hard disk you can do it by two ways. First you can double-click on the solution file that has extension SLN. It will load all the projects contained in it. Or you can double-click on the project file, which has extension CSPROJ. The solution that contains the project will be loaded automatically. Let's check it out.